Good morning, Nitty Elf. What time is it where you are? Thank you for being here and thank you for joining. I hope that you are having a wonderful day thus far, regardless of what time it is over in your time zone. It is evening for me. This is a late night live. Hi, Life Unlimited. Welcome. Ooh, from Tokyo, 12:18 p.m. Yeah, not morning anymore. You're headed into the afternoon. Lovely city that Tokyo is. I've been and I miss it. Thank you for being here. I hope the audio is good. And pardon my voice, it is a little bit off. The weather here has been a little funky. It sounds good. Oh, good. I'm glad. Good. Fantastic. So I haven't caught up with Foodie today. It sounds good, Life. Thank you. I haven't caught up with Foodie today. I caught a little bit of her yesterday, but there are some things that, although I haven't caught up with her, some things that I caught on to that I want to go over today. And I want to see if anybody else has been bothered by them or if it's just me. Because sometimes I notice some things that she says or doesn't say, or the way that she says them. Thus the title of the stream, and if it is visible. But I certainly think that she is up to something as far as Salah is concerned. And we may have touched on it last time, but I think that her car rentals have a lot to do with Salah. Oh, thank you, Nitty Elf. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. She bothers everyone. Yeah, she does, right? There's very many things that she does that are going to bother just about everyone. She's got like the variety bag of poor and negative behaviors. It's like, which one do we start with? There's so many of them. For sure. But there are some things concerning Salah, and there's something in particular concerning BG that I don't know if it's been talked about. Like, my week has been rather chaotic, so I don't know if it is something that has been discussed as far as BG is concerned. But yeah, there's been lots of talk about Salah going to Canada, it seems. It's been coming up a lot more frequently. And considering the fact that they patched things up so quickly, especially after she read him and his family to filth, is very interesting. And I don't know if anybody else is getting that sense. Is Canada a possibility? Is he just leading her on? You're okay with it, even if it's been mentioned? We'll both be in the dark. We'll both take a look at it together and see what it is that she's talking about. And then we'll compare to see if other people have been talking about it as well. Yeah, and I don't know. This started about a week or so ago, but I don't know if anybody has noticed how BG is, in fact, like taking little bites of her. It seems to be, or she's making it seem to be, that it's primarily after she has smoked, but it just seems that BG's temperament is a little bit different around Foodie than what we are accustomed to. She's this sweet, cute little darling, but something is making her bite. And it's like, why do all of Foodie's pets bite her? There's only one common denominator there, right? Because Julia used to do the same thing. So it's clearly a Foodie problem. Right? She's been nipping more. Yeah, it's not like she's chomping down at her, but she's definitely nipping more at her, nipping at her hand, and I think other parts of her body as well. The little bit that I did see was her nipping. Yeah, they don't like her. Like, children and animals definitely know what is up with an individual. And it seems that BG has caught on and is clearly expressing what she is sensing. And we know that Julia was exactly the same way. They absolutely do. Absolutely. They have a good judge of character life. I agree. Your favorite was the street cat. Yes, that bit her arm. Yes, when she ended up in the hospital. I think he was named Hero, if I'm not mistaken. The orange. He was orange and white. She tried to get him in a headlock and he wasn't having any of it. And he chomped down right on her and she ended up in the hospital, which of course became content. And Salah was running around trying to get medication or ointments and things. Yes, Hero. Yes. He preceded little Bruce Lee. He was like the precursor of everything that happened. Hey, you can't blame Hero. He gave her that warning, right? He warned her, don't mess with us cats. You're going to get in trouble. And in trouble she certainly got. Got chased out of an entire country because of her antics. And now BG is letting her know as well. So she doesn't take the hint though, right? She doesn't take the hint as far as anything goes. Like, how many messages can the universe give you? Nope, she won't take heed at all. Whatsoever. So let me try to pull up exactly. Hey, Rebecca. Good day. Good day. Hope all is well in Australia and that you are having a good day. Hi, the real Daisy May. Welcome. No, life. She doesn't take no for an answer for anything. That is her stubbornness. She'll do what she wants to do, regardless of how wrong things go. For somebody who gives up easily, she surely is persistent with her bad ideas. Right? That's the only time that she follows through, when she has a bad idea. But when it's something that concerns her well-being, she's all blasé about it and puts in no effort. Bad ideas, she'll put in a lot of effort into. Good ideas, no. Very selfish, and it's gross. Yes, for sure. For sure. It's like she can't see her way out of her own situation that she created. She's the one who is responsible for her current state. She created it, but she won't get herself out of it and won't accept necessarily responsibility for it, despite her saying that she does. But her circumstances are all her own doing. Getting involved with somebody who she's ultimately crying about every other week, that was her choice. Chose to go on global Tinder and make that happen, right? Crying about Julia being far away from her. She made that happen. She abandoned Julia not once, but twice. Crying about, anything, you name it. It's all her own doing. The creator of her own reality. So here's a question for you guys. Do you think that Salah, or let me rephrase that. Do you think that her car rentals have to do with her going places to make arrangements for Salah to go to Canada? Or do you think at least her recent car rental had to do with her aunt? Yes? Real Daisy May, you think it's Salah related? Because it's like when she rents the car, it's very random. And when she said that, and I think I mentioned it in the last live stream, which I think was a week ago, like there were a couple of possibilities as to why she was renting the car, right? Swordfish is always in there. You know, we all suspect Swordfish is like still somehow in the picture. Hopefully not for her sake. The best decision she could make for herself is to not have anything to do with that individual. Number two had to do with going to get substances. And my thought was, could it be, in fact, something that has to do with her going to government offices to petition for him or whatever that entails in Canada? You don't think they're in contact? It could be, yeah. I mean, that's always a possibility. Absolutely. For sure. Because it seems once again, whenever he's chatting her up, Teardrop is not around. But it seems that either today or the day before that there was a whole lot of talk, or he was sending a whole lot of messages about how he is going to go to Canada to visit her soon, and that he is going to order a treadmill for her for when he goes to Canada. And her talking about, oh, when you come here, fill in the blanks. Right? That's what she's been saying. So there's been like a lot of two-way Canada talk, whether it is with him or whether it is with Teardrop pretending to be him is unknown. But is it possible that that car rental has to do with her trying to make those arrangements? Hey, just for today, welcome. She said that it might be years before they see each other. Yeah, she's going back and forth. For sure. Or is that her like bluffing? Because very often we have found that when Foodie says something and it's deliberate, the opposite is true. Right? She's been telling us for years now, for years it seems, or at least a good solid year, that, oh no, he's not coming to Canada. Why do you think he's coming to Canada? Only for them to have a fight and her to tell us that one of the reasons for the fight was that she asked him, after Malaysia, are you coming to Canada? And he wouldn't give her an answer. He just said, Inshallah. Right? So she's been lying to us all along that he's not even thinking about Canada, only to find out that it's been a topic of conversation. She was boring and high again. Oh boy, it seems like it's turning into a habit, even though she denies it. It seems like the last couple of days she's consistently been smoking. Yeah, nobody knows. It's like nothing that comes out of her mouth can be trusted. For example, when she was explaining the reason why she got the vehicle for what, a day or two it was, she was saying, okay, so honestly, so like, just to be honest, so like she kept emphasizing the fact that she was being honest about whatever it was, whatever explanation it was that she was given. Why are you emphasizing that you are being honest unless you aren't being honest? Right? You just suddenly felt like you wanted to see your aunt and that was the reason because you and Salah broke up. I tried to go back and see if the reason why she rented that car, like if she had said it beforehand, because I feel like she had. I feel like she had mentioned the car rental before they had that argument. But I couldn't go through all those hours of her, like, to pin it down. But I felt like she had mentioned it before, that she had rented a car, but now is trying to turn it into it happened because of their fight. She had a ton of food. Yeah, nothing new. Same thing, different day. She keeps talking about how she wants to get into shape and get fit and how there was this girl exercising outside of her building and Foodie was being rather envious. But yeah, nothing's going to change. She lies too much. Absolutely. I like to say that it's her default setting, that whenever she answers a question or tells us anything, her very initial inclination is to lie. So who knows? Hello, hello. See was nice to see you here. Thank you for joining at this late or early hour, depending on where you are. So yeah, I wonder that if in fact it is Salah in her chat, and that is a very big question mark, if it is, then are arrangements being made for Canada? She is the real Daisy May. Yes, she is performing to be as disabled and talking about her mobility and really wanting the scooter. Yes. Yes. You think it's related to him getting to Canada? There's been chatter in the past about her trying to use that in order to imply that he is her caretaker, that her husband needs to come to Canada to take care of her because of her condition. I don't know, because again, I don't know how things work in Canada and if that would be a viable route for him to get in. So that I do not know. I don't. Anime sucks. Wanted to visit. I think I heard he lives in California. I don't think he's in Canada, Victor. I think this is what I've heard, that he is in the US, potentially in California. Although she did say that, he's a nice looking dude or something to that effect a couple of weeks ago. But I'm sure he does want that visit from her. Absolutely. I think he's her number one fan, or definitely top 3. You're not too late, C was. Nope, just got started. A spouse caregiver? It's possible. It's possible. She's extremely unhealthy. Each day she seems to be deteriorating. She was trying to imply something about, how do I put this? Intimate relations. How she was inquiring about whether it's easier to have intimate relations when you're smaller, but then saying that about her getting on top at her size and how it's doable. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, but like, you're out of breath just like moving from your kitchen to your couch. So that's all I'm going to say. He looks like him. Oh, really? Like a swordfish light? Hey, takes the cake. Hello. Really? Just for today? Is that an avenue for him to make it to Canada? It was talked about in a past video. I wonder. Yeah. How much can the pelvis take without? I don't know. I don't know. 400 pounds on the pelvis. Yeah. Yeah. And I think the numbers that she throws out as far as like her weight, I think those are made up. Again, I will refer you to my short, which was when she was saying that she was going to do the Pilates. This was back in December, and she kind of threw out some numbers that she didn't realize that when you add them up, they're in the 380s. And those are by her calculations. So, and then she says that at her heaviest, I think she was like 410 or just about. And that was when she was in the villa. And she's now trying to say that she's about 25 pounds less in any event. He would need to be a resident or a citizen for the healthcare to pay for him. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Or is it something that he's not concerned about? Or is he going to bring like luggages full of medications for like both of them just in case? Remember, he was supposed to get her like a year's worth of medication and give it to her in Malaysia. Who knows what these two are up to? And like you guys said, maybe they're not even communicating. Maybe he's not even in the picture. Maybe it is teardrop. Because I don't think Teardrop was around when all those messages regarding Canada and the treadmill he's going to order were being like sent over. Yeah, she could be just lying to us all. Yep. Yep. And that would explain why she's smoking and drinking THC beverages and saying that she is stressed and depressed. Because maybe everything is still fractured because of her outburst the other day. And if you guys remember what happened the day before that outburst was that Tracy was unmodded. Tracy's been remodded now. And she said that she didn't know what she was thinking that day. She, that she was just kind of like going off and that it was wrong of her to unmod Tracy. So Tracy's modded again. Happened the day before the fight between her and Salah. So I don't know. She could just be lying to us. It would explain a lot of her behaviors. For sure. I mean, she's talking again about needing to do a reset, and she has a definitive date for her to get in shape. Why would it be a definitive date? It's just her just like talking just to talk, or is there a definitive date because there is a point in time at which Salah would be able to make it to Canada? Therefore, she has to start her new habits then. Who knows? Who knows? The whole thing with Tracy was fake. Well, it was interesting to me how when Tracy got unmodded, her comment was, "That's okay, Chantal, and no matter what, I will never say anything bad about you." It's like, Tracy, you just got like, dragged in a way. Like, your health issues were minimized. You go to dialysis like multiple times a week and everything was minimized and compared to Teardrop's issues. And yet your comeback is, "Don't worry, Foodie, I'm never going to say a bad word against you ever." Like, that was your parting thing? I don't know. She said Miss Music, did she really say that she could get into shape in 2 weeks? 2 weeks. Hi, Taffy. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Yeah, he did mention getting a treadmill. If that was in fact him, yes. If it was him, he definitely mentioned getting a treadmill for when he comes to Canada. And first he said, "Oh, I'm going to come to Canada to visit you." Sounds temporary. And then he said he's going to get the treadmill and a couple of other comments that were sprinkled in there in between. Yeah, throw the scooter away. That could be it, Miss Music. Yeah. And it seems like that is becoming a daily occurrence for sure. Even though she said that it was haram and she wasn't going to partake and she wants nothing to do with it, and how she feels so good being clear-headed, but went back on that too. No consistency whatsoever. So I don't know. Why a treadmill? I know, right? Well, not only that, her apartment does have a gym. Yeah, and it's like weird because I think it was like yesterday or the day before. I don't know if she was talking to him and like kind of explaining like, "Oh yeah, my building has a treadmill." It's like, shouldn't he know that already? If he's been watching the streams and if he's been participating in the streams as she would like for us to believe, wouldn't he have that piece of information? And if not via the streams, via them talking to each other all the time, would he not have that piece of information? Like, she always seems to like try to point things out to him that he should have known for months if he is in fact her husband. Like last time we talked about how she was showing him her seal pillow. She got that in January. Why are you showing that to him in April? Pointing it out. Why are you asking him about BG in April? BG came into the picture like the first day she was back. It's just like very bizarre, the things that are like get highlighted to the so-called husband who should be aware of things. So I don't know. 3 years for her to lose. I mean, Pilates itself lasted what? All of like a day and a half, if that. Yes. Yes, Victor, I agree. The perception of her having a man to be claimed, it doesn't matter if it's real or not. I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. Remember my question, poll from like, I don't know, a month or two ago. Does she want to be desired or does she want to be admired? Overwhelmingly, I think it was like 92% to 8% respondents said she wants to be desired. And if you go back to her older videos, pre-Kuwait, the way she talks about relationships and intimacy and all of those things, it comes down to her wanting to be desired. And when people are talking about like diagnoses and what diagnoses she could have, the desired piece, her wanting to be desired, plays into that a great deal. Hi, Lamp Lover. Welcome, welcome. I hope you are well also. Thank you for being here. 600, if she doesn't get a hold of her health, she will have a very bad. Yeah, I mean, so I'm glad you brought that up in a way because I don't know. It was very interesting after she spent time with her aunt. There were some slight differences, but also notable. Number one, the way in which she was speaking was different the day after. She was much more coherent and she wasn't throwing in the F word every sentence. Hardly at all. Hardly at all after spending some time with her aunt, because spending some time with her aunt means that she wasn't spending time watching whatever junk it is that she watches on TikTok and YouTube. And I think I made a post about it. I was like, she's using the F prior to that. I said she's using the F word like almost every sentence. Who is she hanging out with? Because Foodie absorbs what is around her. Foodie absorbs whatever type of content she is consuming, whether that's an individual in person, like she used to do with Swordfish, or whether that is the content that she is watching. Because she went from like throwing out an F-bomb here and there every once in a while to using it almost every sentence, every other sentence. That means she's watching something. Many of you said that she's probably watching those lolcow shows. I think you're right. I think that's what it is, because she was also mentioning how she gave up the opportunity to be on those shows, even though they offered her a lot of money. That doesn't mean that she's not curious about them, right? I could have been on this, but let me see what they're talking about. Let me see what humiliating things they're doing today. Let me see who they're dragging through the mud today, right? So I do think that a lot of her speech comes from whatever content she is consuming. But when she wasn't, at least for a day, day and a half, when she was spending time with her aunt, interesting how her usage of the F word decreased significantly. The other thing is she was looking ever slightly less, you can tell that she hadn't consumed as much sodium. It was slight, a very slight difference, but she wasn't as puffy and as red, and as like the hypertension wasn't as visible, in my opinion. So just that one day, just interesting to see the difference, slight difference in her appearance, big difference in like the way she was speaking. Yeah, she's out of breath walking 5 steps. She is. The aunt talks to her like she's a child, and I'm sure that's because like the aunt was young when Foodie was born. Because her mom was, what, 17 when she was born? And it's my understanding that the aunt is younger than the mom. So it's probably something that's continued. Like she's the baby, almost as if they were siblings, and she's like the youngest sibling who never grew up. Yeah, you noticed it too just for today, like the swear words, and she's been catching herself. Like she'll say it and then she just stops. She's like, oh, sorry. Yep, every second. Yeah, yeah. It's very jarring because she uses it in places where it's just like there's no reason to. And of course, one could say that about swear words in general, but in her case, it's like she uses it. She doesn't have to. Like, oh, my effing hair. That, like, what? What? Why? Why? Hi, Bella Italian. Welcome. So, just interesting, like little bits of behavioral observations. She mentions him a lot, C was. She mentions him very frequently, in my opinion. I don't know. For somebody who allegedly caused so much harm and did such horrible things, why is this person brought up so much? Here's something to consider. She says that she doesn't want to go to therapy because she doesn't want to keep bringing things up, right? Bringing up certain topics. But yet the swordfish gets brought up every single live stream. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. You don't want to go to therapy to rehash anything, and it doesn't mean that you would. Because again, I've mentioned before, I think her sense of therapy comes from group home and what happened there. You don't want to go to therapy because you don't want to bring certain things up and talk about them, but you'll bring this individual up every live stream. Nah, doesn't make sense. Good to see you too, Bella Italian. I know, I noticed. And how he would make her like bite off his hangnails and stuff. Oh, if you love me, you'll bite off my hangnails. Like, why are you bringing that up? Why? Why? There's no reason to. Exactly. Yeah, Miss Music Girl. So it's like he's always one of the possibilities whenever it comes to her having a car. It's either the swordfish or alternate theory, maybe far fetched, going off to government offices to take care of paperwork for Salah so he could make it to Canada or to get substances. Those are the top three possibilities. She said that she forgot about it. She brings him up every single time. Every single time. Yeah. And even Dee Dee. She's been bringing up Dee Dee a whole lot as well. You think so? You think so, Yelly? That's interesting. French accent. She's kind of taking that from Swordfish. It came from someone, that's for sure, because that seems to come out of nowhere, right? Because she would just scream out, BG, BG13, BG. And now all of a sudden it's like French? Where and why? Where and why? Where did it come from? Yeah. Right. It's exactly what we were just talking about, right? Just like it's similar to the whole her using the F word every couple of words or sentences unnecessarily. That came from somewhere, whether it's from lol cow, whether it's from swordfish. Her language patterns and her use of language says a lot. Therefore, it makes total sense, just like Yeli said, that the sudden French accent and the use of BG's name came from somewhere as well. I would not be surprised. That's an excellent point. Who is she hanging around with? who is she surrounding herself with? She claims that she's depressed and that she's miserable, but like we've seen her when she's been totally depressed and miserable, and I'm not really getting that from her. Yes, she did. She put on makeup. I don't know about tonight because I didn't see her tonight, but I think it was yesterday or the day before. Again, I've only caught snippets because I've had like a chaotic week, but I caught snippets here and there, and I caught where she was on the stream. I think it was when she got her groceries. She had put on her makeup and said, I'm going to get off now because I have to go somewhere, but I'll be on later on Twitch or something to that effect. Where are you going to go? Where do you go? You don't go anywhere. You don't do anything. You just want to sit around and seal. So you put on makeup to go where? So it's interesting, Bella, that she did the same thing tonight. Signs off at 8 to 8:40 p.m. Yeah. She has to go sign up. Right. What is she doing at 8 p.m.? What is she doing at that time? 8 p.m.? And putting on makeup too? She ended with a very made up face tonight. Huh. So for who and for what? Clearly going to go see someone or to pick something up. And I doubt that she's putting on makeup just to go to a dispensary. I think she gave the car back, did she not? Or does she still have the vehicle? She did. She was saying she doesn't feel well, right? When she had the vehicle the other day, she's like, I'm going to get off now. I don't feel well. I'm just not feeling well. So I'm going to turn this off, which is very unusual for her. So why? Where were you going? And if she doesn't have the car and she's signing off at 8 p.m. with a full face of makeup, is she getting on the train and going somewhere? Is she, I don't know. Or is she making that special content? Is that it? Does she have an appointment with somebody online to do special content and therefore she gets, she puts on the makeup? She returned it Monday, Bella? Okay. Do you think she's making the special content? Is that what you mean? Video chatting. Yeah. Yelling. Yeah. I would think so too. Because for her to say, like, I have to go somewhere, it's like, you don't like going anywhere. You don't go anywhere. And when you do, you stream it. Which means whatever you're doing, it's something that you don't want people to be privy to. Now, she's definitely not doing, going to government offices at that time, and she wouldn't put on all that makeup to do that. So that means you're interacting with somebody, and whoever you're interacting with, you want them to view you in a particular way. You want to be made up in order for them to view you. So you're either meeting somebody in person or through video. And it's not Salah because it would be 3 o'clock in the morning for him. So I'd be inclined to say that it's like her other gig, her other source of income. Maybe on dating sites. Yeah, totally. The ring light in the bedroom. Yeah. Hi, Missy Med. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So the ring light is in the bedroom. Yeah, and she made a whole thing about like how dare we accuse her of having the ring light in the bedroom and accuse her of like doing OF. We never said it was OF. Nope. We said special interest content, whether that's like direct to the individual or not. We didn't say OF. Yeah, I don't think it's platforms. No, I don't. I haven't thought that it was platforms from the beginning. I think it's direct person to person content that she makes when it comes to her special interest content. I think these creeps find her. I think they, contact her directly or they have like a broker like anime and then it's direct person to person, not profile because yeah, that would be too it would expose her. That's why she's able to say, like, how dare you say that I do this kind of stuff online? She feels a little bit more protected if it's person to person. Yes, I think so too, which would explain why those nachos ended up on the floor a couple of months ago. Remember, she said she got nachos and like she was eating them in bed and they all fell on the floor. I find that hard to believe. I think she was eating the nachos in bed because somebody paid for it. She uses Tinder, then corrected herself and said used. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if she still uses it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, she's been smoking outside a lot more for sure, consistently. Like in close succession, the days. It's not like a once every couple of weeks sort of thing. So it's like all of the behaviors that she said that she no longer does for whatever reason, she's like well into them now. Yes, I saw that too. A beverage that she paid $9 for, she said. $9 for that beverage. For her anxiety. She has a complete underground hidden space in the dark web. Yeah, I think so too. It's something along those lines, something that's very hidden. Yes, I agree. Yeah, this was going on in Kuwait. Absolutely 100%. There was one video that she made. Of course, everything's been taken down now. And it was, she was eating, of course. And the sauce was dripping down her face, but there was a very, 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 very quick jump cut where the sauce was dripping down from both corners of her mouth. And she had tried to edit it out because it was just so ever so brief. But she missed just that little sliver. So, yes, I do agree that this has been definitely going on since Kuwait. It's $20. Yikes. Yeah, she's probably covering it up, trying to shave off like half the price, right? So nobody will say that she's spending so much money on such a thing. Oh, yeah, I think so too. She's referring to it as medicine, and that's probably for Salah if he is still in the picture. I think so too. And welcome, Doobs. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I think it's direct. Whatever she's doing, I feel it's direct. Yep, totally vetted, either brought to her by like a trusted source or people who she's had around for years who've been requesting that sort of content. It explains how she could afford like all the meals that she consumes, everything that she consumes, like the fast food. A good portion of it, I imagine, is paid for because it's part of like the whole thing. Oh, was it? You think so, Missy Med? It didn't make sense of how she would have gotten it without going to the doctor. So I would not be surprised. Thank you so much, Siwas. I appreciate that. I would not be surprised if it was her aunt's, because there is no way that she is, yeah, seeing a doctor. That we know. Well, the thing with the anxiety is, on the one hand, she says she's so confident, but at the same time, she says, "Oh my God, I went outside and I had like just so much social anxiety and I couldn't take it." So it's like, which is it? Are you overly confident, or are you like, you go outside, encounter people, and like want to retreat? You did, Jubes. How did that happen? Is it just like through the internet? But I don't think she would do that, because I don't think she was genuinely interested. I think part of that was just like, I think that was all performative also for Salah, because if they were in fact going to go to Malaysia, she wanted to appear as if she was making an effort, which, just like with everything else regarding foodie, definitely didn't last. Yeah, that is scary. Yikes. No, that is not good. Very dangerous. Or any medication, especially something that works on your system in that very way. Wow. Concerning. Oh, yeah, she definitely spends money she doesn't have. Yep, that's why she's not able to pay off whatever it is that she still owes. Yep, 2 bankruptcies. We know the back taxes. We know a lot. And anything that she did pay towards any of that was when she was in Kuwait. Because we could say whatever, a whole bunch of things about Salah. There's a lot to say. But like, I think he is much more disciplined with money compared to her. Like, they're complete opposites in that regard. And it's something that she has said as well, but it's also something which is obvious to see. She's in debt 5 grand. Is this like an additional 5 grand? Like on top of whatever debt she already had? Because she already still had like the bankruptcies and the taxes or whatever she owed. She keeps saying that she paid off, I think, 10,000 while she was in Kuwait, but it seems like that number hasn't changed, and I doubt anything more has been paid off since she got back, because we do see the way that she spends, and whether some of that, as was just said, comes from her side gigs, or whether it's her just spending the money she doesn't have. She's not making a dent on the debt at all. Yeah, I'm surprised too. That scooter is holding up quite well. And it's been through like water, it's been through snow, it's been, foodie, using it the way that she has. So she's claiming that she only owes 5,000 in back taxes. Yeah, her breathing is, I think it's the worst it's ever been, for sure. Well, yeah, she's spending a whole lot of money, but it's like, how many, I don't know, how many mascaras has she purchased? Just like in the last 2 months alone. How many nail polishes? How many lipstick? Like, redundant things that she doesn't need, especially given her lifestyle. 5,000 plus what she, so another 5,000 on top what she already owes. Not good. Not good at all. I mean, I don't think that leaving her to her own like ways that any of those debts are ever going to get paid off. $30,000 of debt, paid 10,000 off, right, in Kuwait, but now only has 5,000 left. Yeah, it's impossible. I think she's amassed another $5,000 of debt the way that she's been spending. That I would believe, but not that she only has 5,000 left. Fast food, all the stuff that she goes out and she buys that she doesn't need. She's bought a whole bunch of number of purses, a whole bunch of like different pieces of makeup that she definitely doesn't need. Like spending just for the sake of spending. Yeah, her lies to tell. Like, I don't know, does she think that it's not obvious to the viewer? It's especially obvious, like, and this goes for anything or anybody, like when you haven't seen someone in a while and then like you see them, you bump into them and they look different and you can tell that they've done something, tweaked their face or just done something or like lost weight, gained weight. It's like the same with her. If you don't watch her for a while, or if you go back and watch like an earlier video and then watch one of her current ones, like it is very obvious. Plus, she has said that she needs to give away her clothes or that she needs new clothes. Well, why do you need new clothes all of a sudden? Yeah, lots of money on car rentals and everything that goes into that, gas and all of that. Groceries that she could always allows to rot because she doesn't use the produce as she should, and then complains that it's Canada's fault because Canada has the worst produce of anywhere. She was going off about that the other day. Oh yeah, totally. He's definitely better with money than she is. Yep. He could definitely do a payment plan. I think he's much more disciplined than her in a lot of ways. Yeah, well, Missy Med, she says that she was like over 400 in the villa, right? And remember when she was in Kuwait and in Syria, she was wanting to make us believe that she was a lot smaller. Yep, I agree, Bella Italian. For sure. I think things are rather dire, and she definitely needs like medical intervention, but that's not something that she is going to seek out for herself. Yeah. You think she's hanging out with Peetz? She could be. Although she made a point of saying something about like, and we know he hasn't done it, like if Peetz were to stay over, he doesn't want to stay over for like multiple nights. Like he would stay over for like one night, but not like beyond that he doesn't want to. And maybe Peetz is getting like his independence. And maybe Peetz is learning to be a little bit more discerning. Oh, was she eating a bunch of Oreos tonight? I didn't watch her tonight. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. She could visit him. That's true. But I feel like, I don't know, I think she's implied, or maybe it's true, that he lives quite a ways away. But it is entirely possible. And maybe the other day when she was saying that she doesn't feel well and she needs to turn the camera off and so forth while she was in the car, maybe she was stopping by to visit Pete's. That's entirely possible. Yeah, I think so too. He has a routine. Right. Yeah, like he can't, he can't move in and then she gets up and takes off and goes back to Syria or wherever else she goes. Like his whole future existence lifestyle can't be tied to foodies because that would be a disaster because she's just so volatile and so, as she says, impulsive. Like his life needs to be completely separate. An hour away, yeah. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be very down for like her chaos at all. I think like I think he's willing to spend time to her with her, but I think not in the same way. And I agree that he was her soulmate. Like she keeps talking about wanting to be accepted the way she is. She shouldn't have to change. Whoever's with her needs to accept her as she is. That's Pete's. She refuses to believe that though. She refuses to see it. She wants to chase internet men around. Well, C was also, I think, because somebody asked her if Salah was aware of the fact that she had been impregnated by Peetz. So it was either because he got mad in general or because somebody asked that question. Yeah, she did do him dirty. And good for him for working and like he's got his channel, he's got like that's stability for Pete's, right? Like he has his routines. He should have his routines. Foodie needs to have routines. She doesn't, and that's part of her problem. He does deserve better, yeah. It's like she's very fair weather with him, like when she needs somebody, he's around. Although I feel like it's been better, like he's been less involved in things since she returned, which I think is a good thing for both of them. Yeah, anything, yeah. Exactly, Dubes. She needs routine, she needs discipline, she needs structure. But I think the very thought and idea of that, just like she can't handle it. Hi, chow mein. Yeah, her routine is that. She's saying, right. I heard something about that, Yelly, about her saying that like his family doesn't want her there because of her mental health. I caught her saying that, and it's like again, she's trying to change the narrative. The same way she's trying to change the narrative about what happened in Kuwait. And how she got up to leave because like if she if she can't live in a place where she can't like help a cat, like that's not what happened. Same as in Syria, like it's not his family. It wasn't because of your mental health. It's because of all the things you did. And I heard her also make a comment about like, oh well, yeah, I'm not going there right now, like kind of implying that she's gonna go back to Syria, just not like in the near future, but maybe in a little bit. She did need structure 35 years ago, and I think that's where the group home comes into the picture. And I've been wondering about that. And I know I've been bringing it up a bit. And I'm bringing it up also, I guess, like in light of some of like her childhood pictures that she posted the other day. Yeah, Miss Music Girl, like his whole family, his father too. His father was aware of it. Yep, the whole family. And they have from the beginning. I mean, the folks in Syria did try to be like kind and accommodating and try to include her, and that's the thing. She doesn't she doesn't know what she wants. She wants to be accepted, and then the moment that they accept her, it's just too much for her. It's too socially draining. So which is it? Do you want to be involved? Do you want to be invited? Do you want to be part of the family and being treated like a family member like those people were doing? But then you're going to turn around and rage on them and rage on Salah because it's just too much? Too socially exhausting? They did try, but it's like not happy when it's warm, not happy when it's cold kind of thing, right? Hi, Liz the Loki. Welcome. And she said something the other day, and that's what I meant to bring up, and I forgot. She said something the other day. Maybe we can take a look, but that she was jealous of Salah. She was jealous about him having all of that family who loves him. She said it. She said she was jealous. Her words, not mine. And I thought that there was a lot of truth in that, saying that she's jealous of him. Because here he is surrounded by all of his family who supports him and is kind to him, and they want to interact and be around each other. And then here's her who doesn't have that and who wants to pull him away from that. So rather than her embracing that and embracing the family structure, she pushed it away, not just for herself, but was trying to push it away for him as well. Yeah, they were very kind and she treated them poorly. She's happy being unhappy. Yeah. I don't think she knows what true happiness is. It's like desire me, the end, right? Claim me, the end. But to flat out say that she was jealous of him was very interesting to me. Like those were in the last week, it was just like one thing about BG that I do want us to take a look at because I don't know if it was missed or not, or if anybody else has talked about it. And then the whole piece about her being jealous of Salah. Yes, when she cooked for them and they got sick. Yes. And then she said something about the meat. Something about the meat. It was the meat. And then now she's trying to say that she would always get food sickness when she was there. But then she's also told us that she would always make Salah go out and get her fried chicken every single day. Again, what does one believe? No, not the biting. See, was something that Foodie said, which to me stood out. Very slight, but it stood out. You guys know it's the little things that stand out to me. The little things. Yeah, she wanted him to stay at home and be her waiter. Absolutely. She didn't like the fact that he had to give part of his time because he wanted to, not because he had to, give part of his time to his family. The other thing that was interesting was that she said that Salah was living, when he got to Syria, he was with his uncle who happens to be Noor's father. So Salah and Noor are cousins. So for her to imply that Noor had like the hots for him, even though Noor is married, like that she had the hots for her married woman, having the hots for her unmarried cousin was interesting. That Noor was the one who put together the divorce papers was also interesting. But the fact that he was living with his uncle, and when Foodie decided that she was going to go to Syria, despite him telling her not to, he then had to go and find an apartment or a place for them to live, that first apartment that they had, 1 hour away. 1 hour away. Now, was that intentionally? Did he intentionally try to keep them an hour away from the family? Or is it just like the only thing he could find was an hour away? Because we do remember him saying multiple times after she got there, I told you not to come. I told you not to come. I needed 1 more month. So here he is living with his uncle, and he has to scramble and find a place and make arrangements because Foodie decided that she was going to Syria. I don't think he is codependent. I think she's very dependent. I think he does okay without her. As she says, he's living, he's creating his life in Syria. And I think she's jealous of that as well. That here he is in Syria with, his whole life. He's got the house, he's got the business, he's got whatever projects he's working on, regardless of whether they're, on the up and up or not. Whereas she's sealing and slugging around on her couch. Yes, I agree. I agree. Family is a chore for her. Yep. Yeah. Limited social interactions means limited opportunities for others to see her. Limited time for her to feel out of place also. Thus the social anxiety. Hi, Brianna. Welcome. Yeah, she doesn't know who put the papers together, what they say, what she signed off to. Who knows? She probably signed off. One of you mentioned last time, probably signed off like never to step foot in Syria again. Who knows? Oh, yeah, Bella, definitely. Foodie is dependent. Yep, absolutely. She is. Hey, Sinisi. Yep, can't read it. She was too angry probably to even try to use Google Translate or anything to translate whatever those documents were. And she has absolutely no idea. No idea. But yeah, if she's admitting to the fact that she was jealous because Salah had all of this family around him, and of course she was kind of like at this. I think she said this after she had smoked. So she was a lot more willing or a lot more expressive and open with certain things. Imagine how she really felt if she's gotten to the point where she could admit it. So yeah, jealous of Salah. No, nobody saw the divorce note because it was on her last day in Syria. She said that she tries to present it as if she was ambushed that day and that he presented her with these divorce papers and that even though she knew it because, they were divorcing, she didn't like the way that he went about it and when did he go and get these papers done and supposedly he had witnesses there like I guess Noor and the 17-year-old cousin, somebody else as witnesses for her to sign it. And that, when he gave her the papers, I think he just left them on the table and she started screaming, "Where's Salah? Where's Salah?" And then when he was driving her to the airport, that's why she was in a very bad mood. Meanwhile, he was all giggles and happy on the way to the airport. So, yeah, nobody's seen those papers because I guess she went into sort of a rage when she saw them, allegedly. He definitely has a closer relationship with his family, Abriana Miller. And I think that that was true also in Kuwait, that even though some of his like family members like shunned him because of whatever he had going on with Foodie, I think I think they were still close to him because we know that like he would go and see them. At least some of them, that they would go to events together, that they did celebrate Eid together. I think when his father got an award, like the family was together, at least the majority of them were. She said they threw a party for her on her last day. We know what that was. That wasn't no, oh, have a good trip party. No, no, no. Hey, Amber Lynn's washcloths. Your cats do that when they're hungry and she doesn't feed her much. Yeah, it could be hunger as well. Absolutely. For sure. We know that she doesn't feed her. She showed something, I think it was today. She's like, "Oh, got my cat another thing of food," and she doesn't like it. It was wet food. It was Sheba. But it's like, keep trying. She's going to like something. So I do think she's hungry. I thought that also like last week when she came in and BG was meowing a whole lot. That was hunger. And she did nothing of the sort to even try to give her anything. Yeah, she loved being passenger princess. She said as much too, that she doesn't like driving the car anymore. She's so used to being passenger princess. Yep, he would get her meds, her food, everything. Nope, no marriage certificate. She'll show us a whole bunch of other stuff, but not that. Yes, she fake passed out when she went to the airport, and that's when he threw his purse at her, allegedly. I don't know, Siwas. I'm not sure how it works, so I don't want to say definitively. That's why it's interesting that if nothing needed to be signed in order for them to divorce, then what did she sign? She has no clue. It's very likely, Bella Italian, that he has. And especially after the most recent outburst where she cursed his whole bloodline. Yeah, they threw a party. I'm sure the neighbors were at that party, given everything that they witnessed too. I think so, Brianna Miller. I think that's what the nature of the party was. BG does look sad. She really does. It's definitely been a change in BG, though, with that behavior in particular, because she didn't do that before. She is aggressive to BG. And speaking of that, let's take a look at what I wanted to show you guys. It's something very slight. Again, you guys tell me if this has been covered before. I don't know, but it stood out to me regardless. So give me a second here. Let me see if I could bring this up. Oh no. Because it has to do not so much with what BG did herself, but mostly with what Foodie said to BG. Oh, why is it not working? Give me a second, guys. Okay, do you see her on the screen? Let me know. No, you can't see her? Let me see. She was on there and now it's off. Let me see. I don't know why. Well, we know she doesn't. Yeah, we know she doesn't clean the water in the food dish. She's like we've seen the way she cleans her home or doesn't clean her home for that matter. And cats do like cleanliness. So in her case, we don't know what's going on. BG breaks my heart too, and she's not eating nutritious food. Yeah, BG is an afterthought. BG is a prop. That's what BG is. Playful bites are fine, but like Julia and BG are definitely expressing themselves. I think she should be on the screen now. Just let me know if you can see her. It's going to be from Barbecue Chillin'. And thank you, Barbecue Chillin', for putting this together so kindly, because it allows us to pinpoint exactly what we want to see without having to sift through like 12 hours of her content. But let me know, guys, if you can see the screen. Yeah, she was blaming it. She said, oh, because I smoked. And there might be a little bit of truth to that because like what she smokes and catnip are kind of like in the same family, kind of, sort of. But like, I don't think that that's what it was necessarily. Well, broasted, and welcome here. That's what we're about to talk about, actually. So, do you guys see like the blank screen? Let me know. Her screeching is horrible, both for BG and for the neighbors. Yeah, I agree, Bella Italian. I've thought about that as well, like something happening. Is it a blank screen? Is it like a white screen? Do you see like barbecue chillin' down in the corner? It says Foodie Beauty ask permission to Salah to post a picture. I see it on my end. Catnip is mint, pot is hemp. Okay. Many who smoke say their cats like the smell. That I haven't heard. Solid white YouTube screen. Okay, great. Do you see the videos like on the right hand side? No video, but other, yes. Okay, great. Great. You see the text. Perfect. Okay. So I want you guys to listen. I'll try to turn it up. Listen to what Foodie says very quietly. She whispers it and how she tries to make up for it immediately afterwards. Okay? Just listen.
Grabbing my sofa bed, but there's like I clean the couch with cleaner, baking soda and powers wash. I'm never gonna bother with a traditional fucking house, like a proper living room with a TV and a coffee table and a throw rug. I'm just gonna keep the TV in the room. Oh, I'm never eating chicken again. What the fuck, man? BG, you're gonna get a punch. Hey, BG.
Did you guys hear what she said? As soon as BG came into the frame, white screen, did it end? But did it play at all? Did you guys see BG come into the frame? Started again. Saw something, did not pick it. Okay, listen to what she says. As soon as BG comes into the frame, I'll play it again. It's very soft. She starts to say, and then she catches herself.
Is like I scrubbed my sofa bed, but there's like I clean the couch with cleaner, baking soda and powers wash. I'm never gonna bother with a traditional fucking house, like a proper living room with a TV and a coffee table and a throw rug. I'm just gonna keep the TV in the room. Oh, I'm never eating chicken again. What the fuck, man? BG, you're gonna get a punch. Hey, BG! When I say you're gonna get a punch, I don't mean it, because I never punch my cat. But it's like she was aggression. Well, I go like this, I go like fake punch. That picture of me thinner from ChatGPT.
You guys caught it, right? You guys caught it. Let's do it one more time. Listen to how she holds herself back. She says, BG, you're going to get and she trails off. And then methinks the lady doth protest too much. But there's a little bit more. But let's play it one more time, okay?
Powers wash. I'm never gonna bother with a traditional fucking house, like a proper living room with a TV and a coffee table and a throw rug. I'm just gonna keep the TV in the room. Oh, I'm never eating chicken again. What the fuck, man? BG, you're gonna get a punch. Hey, BG! When I say you're gonna get a punch, I don't mean it, because I never punch my cat. But it's like she was aggression. Well, I go like this, I go like fake punch. That picture of chicken again. What the fuck, man? BG, you're gonna get a punch.
So She made a point of trying to explain herself away as soon as she said that, right? And tried to play it off. Oh, I would never do that. I would never, oh, I just do this. Psh, psh, right? And hopefully she doesn't. And maybe it is, she gets irritated that she never would. But what's funny to me is that immediately after this stream, she did 2 or 3, and you guys could go at Kick and you could see like her videos and how they're titled and what they're labeled. She made Kick streams that said love BG, BG love BG. There's like 2 or 3 of them in a row after this. So she knows what she said. She knows that she either slipped up there, is hoping nobody caught on, and immediately following this, there was emphasis on how much she loves BG, how much she loves her. Love BG. Oh, I can't get enough of her. Don't you think she's the greatest, the best? Which, yes, she's always done and always said very frequently. But it was immediately after this particular stream that happened, that she said that. Yeah, I also think BG's not in her room at night. I agree, Broasted. I think she is neglected as well. I think she views BG as a nuisance. I think she despises the fact that like BG wants to interact with her. When she initially got BG, I remember she was giving her some treats on the table, and she was huffing and puffing and rolling her eyes as if BG was annoying because she wanted those treats, almost as if it was a chore or a nuisance for her to reach inside that little treat bag and take out some treats and give them to her. In this case, it's what stood out to me was what she whispered, how she caught herself, how she immediately tried to correct it, and then continued to try to correct it by labeling subsequent Kick streams Love BG. 2 or 3 of them in a row. Maybe she doesn't want animal control called on her again. I mean, yeah, probably. Probably. So she's trying to overcompensate, right? By providing her explanations and titles and all of that. No, BG definitely doesn't. And even if it's in jest, even if what she's saying is in jest, it's in very poor taste. It's a horrible joke to make. Why would you say something like that? Why would you even pretend that you only, yeah, I don't punch. I would never do that. I just go, psh, psh. Why would you even joke that? Why would you even pretend that? Especially given your history, especially with like what we've seen going on before. And she did make the comment towards BG the other day. She's like, oh, BG, you look disheveled. See, I think it slipped out of her mouth because she certainly tried to like, she lowered her voice immediately. Yeah, it makes me very sad for BG. Yeah, long haired cats need frequent brushing. That is definitely true. I don't know. Stood out to me the way it was said, everything that was said immediately thereafter. Exactly, Brianna Miller. She knows it's not. That's why she quickly tried to backtrack off of it. I know. I know. She really is very sweet. She has a lovely temperament, wants to interact with her. Yeah, Julia too. Yep, Julia too. But it's like you're telling BG that she's disheveled, but you're not doing anything to take care of the fact. And I think that like Julia, if she did get brushed, it was either when she went to get her nails trimmed or it was Salah doing it. Right. I agree, Sinisi. Well, I think she feels broasted. I think she feels that it like reflects on her. She perceives the long haired cats a certain way. Therefore, it reflects on her. That the way people think that like the cat is cute or the cat, looks nice or anything, that people like somehow will take that and apply it to her. Broasted, I think she shouldn't have any pets. Can't take care of herself, can't take care of her apartment, can't take care of any living being. So, yeah, that was the highlight. That was what stood out to me. And the other bits and pieces had to do with her jealousy of Salah and the fact that he had a very involved and interested family. Poor BG. The other thing is, like, I know Foodie likes to demand that there is a screen, but it's like the way that window pushes out, there's no screen on the bottom. And she said that BG saw a bird and got extremely excited about it. Yeah, I agree, Broasted. Yeah. Everything that happens with BG is upsetting. And yeah, Salah, I think, does a much better job with Julia. Hi, Blind Justice. Yeah, I think the window pushes out, so it's like continues to remain connected on top, but the bottom pushes out. So when people got on her case and said that they were going to contact animal control because of her not having a screen, she went into this whole thing that she does have a screen. And I think it covers like the front, but obviously it can't cover the bottom. Right. She was. Yeah. I mean, one can hope, right? Although, I mean, we saw her neglect her just the other night when BG was hungry and foodie. She just sits there and eats and eats and eats, but doesn't make a point of feeding BG or giving her attention. Yes, Amberlynn's washcloths. Remember? She was just like sitting in her little carrier for like the longest. And then Foodie put her alone in the room. And Foodie did say something about like all like the entire litter when she got her was like kind of huddled in a corner looking scared. She did make a mention of that. Right, exactly, Broasted. It's a bug screen and it's not cat proof. And we see how BG likes to climb those windows. Yeah, Bella Italian seems she does that very frequently. Yes, Broasted. So Julia preferred Salah. She preferred to interact with Salah. She would whenever he would come home, she would run up to him. And Foodie even made a comment about it at one point that, like, I think Salah was going to have people over, or his friends over, and something about, like, Julia being a little, hot to trot, that she was going to be, like, around all of these guys and stuff like that. Um, and it seemed like it almost seemed like she didn't like the affection that Salah was displaying towards Julia rather than her. And Julia would approach her like whenever there was bread because Julia loved bread. She would steal bread. She would try to take the bread away. So whenever Foodie was like at that table with the food and the groceries, Julia would be there trying to get the bread. Yes, blind justicist. Yes, she did. She said that, right? Initially. And then she made a point of saying that she closed it when she went like and spent the night at her family. Oh yeah, Brianna Miller. I think it's toxic to them as well, just as it is to dogs. I mean, Foodie can't take care of herself. right? What she does to herself is self neglect. She's neglecting all of her own needs. So, how can she be entrusted to take care of another living creature who is completely reliant and dependent on her? She can't be. Oh, blind justice. She was always freezing bread all the time, always putting bread in the freezer, but always getting more somehow. So I wonder what happened to all of that bread in the freezer. Just a mess, a whole mess. Rubbing alcohol. That's cute. You clean the mirrors and then Kitty tries to lick them. Yeah, that's a good point, Broasted. Right. She hasn't even thawed her own food. I didn't see what she did when she got the groceries, I believe, yesterday, because she said that she had to go. She had to go somewhere. So I don't know if she put them away or just left them out. We know she likes to leave things out. I mean, look what happened with the moldy chicken that she found under the couch. The couch, which she now claims to hate, by the way. Right? Exactly. She hates it, but she's always laying there and doesn't want to do much of anything else. I don't know. I think it was once again in the last like day or two that she said that she felt like something to the effect of her watching her life from the window or from outside. Now, I don't know if that was the substances talking or if she realized that like life is passing her by and she's not doing much of anything. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, we saw her get soy sauce on the couch. We saw her get hot sauce on the couch. Who knows what else is on the couch? We saw all the open cans on the day that the apartment was like a complete wreck and she had to clean it. So that's at least three liquids that we are aware of. I'm sure there's mayo on there. She was eating relish packets the other day. So everything's on that couch. She probably is Bella, especially if she's doing special content and eating for them. But that couch is probably a mess. And then let's keep in mind it's 6 months since she's been back, which means it's 6 months until her lease is up. So it will be interesting to see what happens come October. Like, what is the plan then? Is she going to have a happy fall? We know fall is her favorite season. Halloween's her favorite holiday. Is it going to be a happy time for her? Or is she going to be miserable? Because it'll be the 1 year mark. Because it really does appear that there was some type of a 1 year deadline. Almost as if he told her, like, you have 1 year to get your act together, to turn yourself around, and then maybe we could reconsider what it is that we're doing here. Be it a marriage, be it a business relationship, be it a friend, whatever it is that they've got going on, right? Seems like he gave her 1 year. Half of her time is up. Are we going to see her in crisis come October? Because if he's still around, and if he did give her a year, and if Canada is not on the table, is he going to say come October, that is it? This is the grand finale, the real finale. And is she going to have a meltdown? Oh gosh, ICU beezing, you think? I mean, it's not looking good, that's for sure. Not well at all, yeah. 40, right. So if it's 40 pounds in half a year, does that mean it'll be another 40 in another 6 months? She'll be miserable. It probably won't be good, right? 6 months from now. Yeah, and it's, you know what's sad, see, was that we're the ones who are always like, the majority of us say, like, we know what she needs to do, and we say it would be great if she did this, and how much better her life would be if she did this. And yet she's the one who has no intention of doing any of that. Yeah. Yeah, blind justices. Yeah. No time at all, right? To get to the hospital. Hey, Tasha. Yeah, she is talking about that. Now, do we think that she really recognizes and realizes that, and that's why she's saying it? Or is it that she's playing up the whole disabled factor? Because today, I think it was, her phone, maybe yesterday, again, I didn't really see much of her today, but she couldn't find her phone. The phone, I think, began making, like, went on in the other room or in her bedroom. The way in which she got up and ran to get that phone that was playing something, some video, something on speaker, the way she ran up to get it, it's like she could move if she wants to. The same way we saw her move when she wanted to get to Syria. She got herself up, got her luggage ready, got herself to a plane, to the airport, to Turkey, stayed in Turkey for her layover. She showed us all of that, smuggled herself and got into whatever arrangements had been made to get herself to Syria. When she wants to, she does it. So is she playing up the immobile thing, either because there's like a certain subset of viewers, special interest viewers who like that sort of thing? Or is it like potentially to have Salah make it to Canada as like her husband and caregiver? Oh, look at me. My husband's in Syria. I need a caregiver. Well, you know what it is, blind justicist? I think it's also because she's always doing other things when she's eating, so it just like doesn't hit the same way, right? She's not mindful about her eating. She's not like deliberate about her eating. She's just like kind of like throwing things in there. She's not chewing. I think she said that she doesn't like to chew as much certain things because it changes the texture, something along those lines. So she's not like sitting there at a table with her feet on the floor, sitting upright and eating and chewing slowly. She's just like tossing it in there. But you know what else I noticed? And you tell me if you did too. She's nonstop eating, but she's being a little bit less sloppy about it. And it seems that her passing gas has become a lot more frequent, almost as if there's more people calling for more attention or requesting her passing gas versus eating during the lives in a very grotesque manner. It's a very subtle shift, but it seems that the passing gas is like the main focal point right now. Yeah, I don't know what the whole thing with the other phone was. It was very strange. Yeah, exactly. Amberlynn's washcloth. She said 399, or I think she's claimed that she was over 400 in the villa. Yeah, the numbers are all over the place. They don't match up whatsoever. Now she's saying something like it just doesn't, it doesn't make sense. Do I think that despite his fetishes that he's okay with her past? I don't think so, no. I don't. She made a comment the other day that she woke up to him like putting like perfume spray on her behind. This is what she claims. We don't know if it's true. I don't think so. I think it's content for like, again, I think it falls under the special interest content and somebody is requesting that. They like to see that because she does it a lot. So it's like, oh, you want to be like hot girl, you want to be fit, you want to be that, you want to get into like be sexy and stuff, but then you're passing all of this gas continuously and making a point of it and describing it like, oh, that was like a sharp one of this, that one of that one. Like you're describing the gas that's coming out of you. That's for somebody. That is for somebody. That's not an accident. She was doing that in Kuwait as well. There is an audience for that particular thing. So to me, it looks like somebody or some people are requesting more of that as opposed to please eat something with the sauces falling down your face. A perfume shower. Yeah, like how does that phone go off like that? And she's like, "Oh, it was watching that." And she said whatever video it was that she was watching that like the phone would just suddenly turn on and start playing a video like midway through. But it seemed that she was like bothered by it. "Hey there. Welcome." It seemed like she was very like she rushed to get that phone. She did not want us to like hear. She wanted to rush and turn it off. Whatever that video was, whether it was a ringtone, a video, whatever, she rushed to grab that phone and turn it off. But you know what, Blind Justice is? She wasn't doing the whole gas thing in Syria. She wasn't even doing the food dripping down her face in Syria. Did her flatulence suddenly disappear in Syria? I'd like to think it didn't. However, she was able to control it because she couldn't do it in the house where all those family members were around. So she has a gas problem when they live in Kuwait, where she's most of the time alone. And she has a gas problem when she's in Canada alone, but not in Syria, where they're living together and his family is around. No, it's not funny at all. It's off putting. Right, Emberlin's washcloths? Like, why would you share that? What does that say about you? Unless it's turning somebody on. And they like to hear those stories. Did she, though? If she did, she didn't make such a spectacle out of it. Like, I don't recall her doing that. Not in the way, like, now it's like a production. High rice pudding. Yeah, I think so. Especially in the AI generated photos. Yes. Yeah, I think it wasn't in front of, yeah, which probably had to do with his family. Definitely much more common when in Canada and also the latter part of Syria. I'm sorry, the latter part of Kuwait, I mean, the latter part of Kuwait. I think it is a fetish for some people. Yep, absolutely. Well, what's his name? Anime like that. I think he would draw dragons passing gas or something. Like he has a thing for that. So I wonder if it's specifically for him or if there's like a whole subculture of that. Like it's something. Now, granted, all of the things that she eats and the combinations of things that she eats make that possible. But yeah. Yeah, now it's like all the time. It's a daily thing. Kuwait, latter part, not as often, but just like the very, like the towards the end. Yeah, I do blind justices. Yeah. And she said that like he had never like encountered a woman who, whoever did that before. Yes, it is. Exactly, Tasha. It really is a main like she's really making a point of talking about it, emphasizing it, highlighting it, describing it. It's like that's the content now. Passing gas is like the content. Oh, I didn't see that. She did a what I eat in a day vlog. Oh boy. It's like everything. It's like, well, how about like if what I don't eat in a day, that would be like a what? Like a 1 minute video? That's the video she needs to do. Like, tell us what you don't eat during a day. We would like to know. Now, as far as like the pictures that she posted of herself from like when she was a kid and stuff, those were nice pictures. She was cute. She was cute. Like 12-year-old her, cute. The other one, 17-year-old, nice picture also. But then she immediately like took them down, allegedly because I don't know why she would take down like the 12-year-old photo of her. But the older photo of her, which she said was at her mom's wedding, I don't know, maybe he did say something about that one, or she wants us to think that he said something about that one. Yes, he was exactly. Make a video of caring for BG for a day, like really caring. Happy birthday to your cat, Rice Pudding. Happy second birthday. I'm glad that you're acknowledging it. And hopefully, he had a little party, he or she. Yeah, I don't know. I need to go back and listen to that when her phone went off. Maybe it was a special client call. Who knows? Who knows? I need to go back and listen again as to what it was. I don't think the phone would just go off on itself. It probably was a ringtone. Oh, he got an extra purr pup and sang to him. That's awesome. I'm sure he loved every moment of that and really appreciated it. Happy birthday to Rice Pudding's kitty. Bella, I was thinking about that too. Like, if something happens for her, what happens to BG? I don't think she thinks, she doesn't think ahead. She doesn't. Remember, she's impulsive. It's now, in the moment. Yes, yes, Amberlynn's washcloths. Thank you for bringing that up. She is obsessing over skincare and things like that. And she said she's like really into anti aging all of the time, like suddenly. The thing is, I think she's mixing things she's not supposed to. She wasn't wearing sunscreen. So she's putting all of these like active ingredients, harsh ingredients on her face and going out into the sun without proper protection. Then she gets sunscreen, but it's burning her eyes. Like, she's trying to do better for her skin, but she could be damaging it as well. It's like, how about we just start with like a daily cleansing routine? Something simple, cleanse and moisturize. Yeah, when she posted the young pics of herself. Yep. And she was saying how like she used to be good looking and she had it going on and all of that stuff. Yeah. It could be that yeah, maybe she did realize how much she has changed. Because, like, the change is drastic. Because it's more than just aging. It's like, yeah, you were 17 in one picture, now you're 42, sure, but it's just like, it's more than that. Yeah, hopefully the aunt would take BG if anything were to happen. Let's hope so. Yeah, Rasputin, exactly. She plans for the trips, plans to around regarding Salah to some extent. but that's about it. Yeah, it is more like exactly what she puts in her body is very important, which is why I was saying like her just spending like one day in her with her aunt, you can tell that she had less of the fast food. She looked like she had consumed less sodium. Her skin was not as red. And based on what she showed us that she had eaten, it was the meals were a lot better than what she usually consumes. She didn't sit there and order takeout or fast food 7 times in one day. If she was spending time with her aunt and her aunt slept over, I doubt that she would do that in front of her aunt. Would she order one meal of fast food? Probably. Because we remember when she went to Canada, stayed with her aunt, she doxed herself because she ordered pizza, right? But I don't think she would order the back to back to back fast food meals. And you could see the difference for sure. So, yeah, her skin reflected that one day of change. So, can you imagine if she stuck to it, how much good it would do to her instead of all of these like topical things that she's doing now to try to make up for it? And the thing is, she does drink a lot of water, and I think that's because of her diabetes and her kidneys. But the effects get counteracted based on like the grease and the salt that she's consuming. Oh, is that the date? Is it May 1, Broston? I know she said she had a date, a definitive date, but did she announce that it was May 1st? My money is on no. It won't. Did she explain why it's May 1st, or is it because it's the midpoint of the year's deadline that she's been given? She's trying to replace one fixation food. Hmm. Yeah, she can rent cars, plan flights, and navigate food orders, and that's kind of where it ends. Nope, you're not repeating. You're okay, blind justices. Don't worry. She's trying to replace, I heard her say that as well. That's never going to happen unless she gets intervention for that. So May 1st it is. Yeah, it's not going to happen. She says she's going to walk tomorrow. She might. It'll last a couple of days and then that's it. Or she's going to get crabby and say, remember the last time she said, I know what I need to do. I don't need you telling me. Nobody needs to ask me all the time. Everything's going to derail. Hey, Gonzo Duke. Yeah, I think that would be a good start as well. Like, start chewing your food, make it more digestible. May 1st. May 1st is in 2 days, depending on where you are. One day, maybe. She needs a lot of things. She needs inpatient. She does. It was interesting to me also that when she did eat the crisps, that she got all that cheese on her fingers. I don't know. She was eating Doritos or something, and or puffs, and she actually turned the camera away to lick the dust off of her fingers. That was curious to me because she always does that on camera. So she said, "Oh, you guys don't want to see this." And she turned the camera away. But yet the passing gas is just like right there. Make a point of it. So when I say that there's like this very slight shift into what she's doing, it's very slight because it's like it's gross either way. But I just made a note of that when she did that. Yes, May 1st is Friday. Correct, Gonzo Duke. Yeah, she does need extensive psychotherapy and some time in a, yeah. There's too many aspects of her that need treatment. She can't do it on her own. Nobody would be able to do it on her own, tackle all of those things. She needs a team. She needs a care team for her mental health and for her physical health. One team to work on, well, maybe she needs 3 teams, quite frankly. One team to take care of like the various addictions, one to take care specifically about the other aspects of mental health, and one to take care of all of her physical problems. Exactly. She does need, yep, the addiction care. Yeah. And that includes the food addiction. People were complaining about her fingers sucking and picking her nose, so she doesn't want to do that. But not about the gas. The gas being described in detail. It is sad. You know what's sad, blind justicist? And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. We've never here on this channel ever said anything about her looks. Anything about her looks. Because as you can see by the pictures, like she was cute. I could see why they called her cutie. But I think that what she has done to herself, whether it's because of her eating issues, which I don't think that's entirely it, but especially what she's done to her appearance because of her special interest content is like a crime. It's a travesty. It really is a travesty. That's what you did to yourself for some people on the internet, or to be entertaining, or because they throw a couple of bucks at you to see you eat. You destroyed yourself, and we know she values her appearance. She made a big point of telling us about her appearance and like how like good looking she was and how she had it going on. So we know she values it, but she's the one who destroyed it for the sake of like a couple of people online, for people like Anime. That is what I find sad. Because she was full figured in that 17-year-old picture of her, but she still looked nice. But what she's done to herself since getting online, since finding these people like Anime, horrible. Hi SM 2052. Yeah, it's sad. It's like what could have been, right? Here's this 12-year-old little girl, and here we are now, 30 years later, and look what's happened along the way. It's tragic. Yes, I agree, blind justicist. Yeah, it's the personality, the values, the ethics, like how you treat people, who you are. But we know that the appearance matters to her. So it must be really something that the thing that you value yourself, as superficial as you are, is the very thing you destroyed for no reason. It's not like, oh, you were in a accident, something happened, you got disfigured. No, 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 no. It's like you did this to yourself. And I think she knows that on some level. And that's why she tells us that she's better looking than 90% of YouTube. It all ties back into each other. Yep, I agree, Doobs and the Doobs. Her mental health problems and her bad habits have wrecked her. Yeah, her values, right? Her values. She is easily open to suggestion, whether that's the suggestion of whatever peer group she had in high school, or whether that's the suggestion of people like Swordfish or random bad dudes online. She's very open to suggestion. She also doesn't know who she is, which makes her even more open to suggestion. So not having a core, right, leads to a lot of bad decision making. And maybe for that character and that personality, the lack of values, maybe, I know people like tell her about karma and what her karma is and whatever. Maybe the karma is that the very thing you value, you destroyed your looks yourself. Well, see, was I think, and I think I had mentioned this before, like she can't discern, right? She thinks like somebody comes up to her and like, or a cat calls her or says something to her, something sleazy or whatever. She can't discern between genuine interest and somebody just with like sleazy motives, selfish motives. Like if you go back and listen to the way that she would describe Swordfish about him being selfish and I mean being pushy and demanding and being possessive, like she interpreted that as like he's so interested in me, he wants a relationship with me. Him telling her if you love me you'll bite my hangnail. Like she interprets that in a romantic way. So she can't discern the difference between a sleaze bag who's out like to get his kicks and to take advantage between somebody who is genuinely interested in her. It's like, is she like to some extent? Yeah, sure. She's a product of her environment, but like that stops after a while, right? Like she could change certain things about herself. And I think there's certain things about the background that she hasn't been as forthcoming about, right? Like why she ended up in that group home. She's told us about the home, but not exactly why she ended up there. So what was going on? Because that picture of her at 17 is after she had exited that home. Then she changed it and said she was 17, that she was 18 or 19. Even more so, that's the after the group home, after the behavior issues or whatever happened that resulted in her going there. Give me 1 second, guys, because my chat froze on my end. Yeah, she did say that, like, as far as discipline, that she wasn't really, that she didn't have a strict upbringing, I guess. Yeah, she did say that. Well, it's hard for her to have values if she doesn't know who she is, right? She doesn't have a value system, it seems. What is her value system? Yeah, there is this, well, I don't know, blind justice is like, yeah, she's fixated with like terrible people, although today she was saying she had a revelation of like how terrible the swordfish was. It's like, now you had the like, I don't know. But I feel like, again, like a lot of that comes from like after school special. The girl gets with the bad guy and changes him and they live happily ever after. There's a lot of like fantasy stuff in there. Yeah, she thinks controlling means love, like she can't discern that. Right. And it's like, where did she get that? That that's what masculinity is? Like, did that come from a peer group back in the day, back in like high school? Did that come from TV? I agree, Broston, with what you said in your reply. She wants passionate and exciting love affairs. Yeah. Anything stable, anything that involves work, anything that involves being a real spouse, etc. It's not only is it boring, it's too much for her. That involves work, that involves input. Yep, the feelings of being desired. Oh, I'm glad they're there. I'm glad you find this comforting. Even though the topic is a bit, but I'm glad. I'm glad you like it here. Is that what she said she was? That that's why she went to the hospital? Oh yeah, I do remember that. That she lied something about then she took some other. She said she took something, but she really hadn't. And then at the hospital, they gave her it sounded like ipecac to make her like vomit it out, but like there wasn't anything that she gave some convoluted story. But you know what? It all boils down to whether if it was true, then she manipulated people, right? And if it's not true, she's manipulating the audience. Either way, somebody's being manipulated with that story. Yes. That's what she tells us, but it's like usually like the group home is not just for things like that. I don't know. And maybe back in the day and maybe in Canada it was different. Typically group homes have to do with behavioral issues. And like granted that would fall under like a specific type of behavior, but usually it's more of like behavioral issues within the home, not to oneself. But again, this is from, now. I don't know back then if the same rules applied. And again, let's keep in mind that Foodie is not a reliable narrator. Is that the same grown man who she showed a picture of not that long ago? Like she found his Facebook or Instagram or something and she showed him some French guy? Yeah, I think there was conflict for whatever reason, the source of which like is unclear and that's fine. And then there was the faked attempt and then yeah. It sounds like it was a very volatile her teen years were kind of volatile. Even clowns take off their makeup. Yeah, that's a good question. Where did she get her role models? And I don't know. Could be in high school, could be what she thinks she's supposed to, who she thinks she's supposed to be into, could be from the movies, TV shows. Oh, the chat, yeah, the chat are their own thing. Tracy, Teardrop, Strawberries and Cream. Oh, Swordfish wasn't active on social. I don't know. I've told you guys that person skeeves me out every time I see them. I feel like I need to exfoliate. They just ooze bad, bad. Yep, the whole charcoal thing. Yeah. Yep, 42 years old. Yeah, I think Prison Guy and French Guy were two different ones, but I don't know. It's hard to keep track of the various stories. The French guy was much older, and I think that's the one whose picture she showed recently. He was a yeah. There's like too many stories to keep track of. And none of these stories are good. There's not like a nice story. Yeah, and I think like with nature and nurture, like they both work. there's elements of both, right? And I don't think anybody's strictly the byproduct of one or the other. Yeah, and especially if there's like a predisposition to something, right? Because she told us the grandma kind of like had the same path. She said the grandma had depression, and I think the grandma ended up being bedbound, or at least periodically bedbound due to her depression. The grandpa ended up leaving. Grandma also had schizophrenia. So there is that predisposition or diathesis, if you want to call it that. Um, so that would be the nature part, right? Part of it. But then it's like Foodie's not doing the things to prevent certain outcomes because of that nature part of it. Yeah, she told us that recently, that grandma had schizophrenia. She's brought it up maybe twice. Yeah, definite genetic predisposition. Yeah, Peetz and BB, right? The only ones who kind of like are outside of the. Not to say that they're perfect or anything, but. Yeah, exactly. She never did. Like, even, I mean, a lot of it is just like when she's with him or whether she's without him, that depends on like what her beliefs are. We've seen the hijab go on and off and on and off based on their relationship status. And we've also seen the Quran, the simplified Quran that she purchased. We've seen it on the floor, laying face down on the floor. Do you think that she read it? Do you think that she has studied it? No. I don't know, Bella. I don't know if she, I don't know. That would mean that like if that is the case, then it would be that we're saying that it's due to nature and not nurture, right? That she came out that way. So I don't know. Yeah, I think so too, that it's all for Salah's sake. I mean, it's been an interesting 6 months, that's for sure, with the whole back and forth of it all. Came back with all of these plans and not a single one has been fulfilled. So, but now we have that May 1st restart date. So we'll see what happens, which I'm not expecting much because we've seen that many times before. Well, see what she's lied to us about the therapy so many times. How many times has she told us that she's done intakes, that she's been talking to a therapist, that ChatGPT convinced her to go get CBT and she signed up? Never heard about that anymore. Like it's lie, 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 lie. Like there's no reason for you to say that you went and you signed up for CBT. Like why are you even saying that? Why? And I guess the chat forgot about it because they never asked her. Compulsive lying. Yeah, she did say that. She doesn't need it. She doesn't want it. She knows what she needs to do, and that is it. Clearly, it's 42 years later. It's not working. You know what you need to do. It's not working. Not working. So, what's the contingency plan? What's the alternate plan? What is the plan? There is no plan. There's nothing. I wonder. There. I wonder. I wonder about that dynamic. Because that picture of her at 17 was at Smee's wedding, she said. So I do wonder about like the dynamic with the sis, all of that. I mean, is she ever so slightly better than she was from her villa days? Yes. Right? Not in like, yes, we talked about like all of the gross things that she does with the food, with the gas, all of that, but she's ever so slightly better. Now, whether that is because of reverting or not, who's to say? But there's a slight improvement since the villa days. Yeah, the sister is supposedly a bodybuilder, I think, or she used to do like wrestling, if I'm not mistaken, either bodybuilding or wrestling. and seems just to be like a regular person and doesn't seem to want to have to do with any of this, which can you blame anybody? Abriana Miller, he was denied twice, but he was a single dude those 2 times. Now he's a married man with a wife who is ailing. Does that change things? And that's the question. Right, Abriana? Like what's on that piece of paper? Is there a piece of paper, and if so, what's on it? Yes, I think that too. There was something significant with Malaysia. I agree, Broasted by KFG. There's something significant with Malaysia, which is why she threw that question out to him. So after we go to Malaysia, you're going to come with me to Canada. Hey, Girl Scout, is she automatically denied to sponsor him? She's being kind of cagey with all of that, right? Like how much she owes, about her bankruptcies. On the one hand, she says she's paid a lot. Then earlier we were talking about like she only owes $5,000, that she's made a debt. Like she's being cagey about it, because if she had paid it off completely, I think she would have said something. It's no marriage. She cannot be a sponsor. Still has bankruptcy, can't sponsor. Could be up to 2 years to verify that they're married via Malaysia. A meltdown, oh boy. Stable income and employment. Yeah, I think it was today that she said, I don't have that much money. Either she has a whole lot more than she lets on, or she's gotten herself deeply into the hole again. If she was discharged, she might be considered. It would depend on several other things, including stable income, true, and employment, which she doesn't have. I mean, I don't know how they would view whatever her earnings are from all of these platforms, and if it's substantial enough. I don't know what like the various criteria would be. Yeah, she probably is saying she's self-employed. And maybe that's why they were discussing how much she would earn on LolCow. Right? She made a point of saying how she turned down a sign-on bonus and she turned down making $10,000 a month because of her dignity and all of this stuff. Like maybe that was the point of like those conversations, to pay off whatever it is that she owes to create the possibility of her being able to sponsor him. Yeah, I agree, C was. I think she brings in more cash than she does want people to know. I also think she spends uncontrollably on nonsense. But if she pretends cries poor, then she dry bags. Yeah, totally. The interview process would make them feel, oh yeah, totally. Totally, because they don't know very much about each other. So there was another video that I was going to do and I never got to it. And it has to do where they are talking about each other's educational backgrounds. And the first time was in Kuwait. It was in the car. It was when they had that argument, not argument, that little spat, and he spilled the water on her. And somebody asked him when they were live, like what his educational background is in and what he majored in. And he said he majored in business. And then Foodie says, oh, is that like a bachelor's? Like having no idea. So you've been with this man 3 years and you have no idea what his educational background is. And he said, yes, it was 4 years. It's a bachelor's degree. She's like, oh, you went 4 years? I went to school for 2 years. I went to college for 2 years, right? Okay. Fast forward to Syria. And they're having almost an exact conversation of this. She was wearing, I believe she was wearing the outfit, the abaya with the matching skirt, the floral one that she had, black with the flowers on it. And they were having a conversation. And then all of a sudden she's telling, like, it's like he's hearing this for the first time. And she's saying that she went to college for 2.5 years. So it changed. She gave him 2 different stories of how long she attended college. But at the same time, like neither of them could remember that they had this conversation before. I know they've had this conversation before. Why am I the one who remembers, but they don't? But this all goes back to like them failing the interview. If they had an interview, like they know nothing about each other and anything that they knew, they forgot because neither one of them is clearly paying any attention. So, yeah, I can't see the interview going well. No audio. Oh no. How about now? Immigration will separately interview them and confiscate their phones to search through. They will also Google search, and as soon as they see, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, there's a lot to find, right? There is a lot to find between all of the videos, the OF, the feeder stuff. Like there's a lot there. But yeah, I don't know if my audio was off. I was saying how like he talks a lot about visiting her in Canada. Okay, you can hear me now. Great, 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 great. Oh yeah, all the AI. Oh, question them. They're going to question the family members. They don't know his name either. She doesn't have all of his information. Can you imagine them? They wouldn't know anything. She has also said that like they don't get involved. Like they don't get involved that way because she was trying to draw comparisons between her family and his and like the level of each family's interference in their relationship. Yeah, and the events going on in the Middle East right now make it even more difficult. But yeah, I know Girl Scout, right? Can you imagine them calling Salah's father? Like, can you tell us about your daughter-in-law? Oh my goodness. The things that man would have to say. 0% chance of a Canadian visa. Was the kid talk part of her talking about? Because the only thing I heard about her mentioning a kid is when she said to Salah something about her and him and the two cats, and he said, yeah, and they could adopt a child. But did she actually say, like, oh, yeah, we can do that in order to get you in? Yeah, no, they wanted nothing to do with it. His family wanted absolutely nothing to do with that. Which we all suspected, and then she just confirmed it the other day when she raged. Especially like the lack of involvement from his family side. They were dreaming about their future, yeah. No, she can't take care of herself. She can't even take care of BG. Well, yeah, blind justices, because, like, they left the war torn country, went to Kuwait. Like, all of the other children supposedly did very well for themselves, went to school, got careers, one's a pharmacist, the others are teachers. I don't know what some of the other ones do. And then here you have Foodie. Like, these people went through war and like were able to be like productive citizens in another country. And then you have foodie. Like, it just doesn't it doesn't fit. Yeah, Miss Med, I think so too. Like, who's Salah today? Which one of the mods? Nope, Salah's father was not at the courthouse. He wanted nothing to do with it. Right, exactly. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, that's. She said it herself, and we've talked about this previously, how Salah's father did not approve because of her past, primarily because he knew she did OF, because he knew about the substance use, and he knew about the substance use when she would return to Canada. Because another thing I've mentioned before is that once, and she's only said this once as far as I'm aware, and this goes back to what we were talking about regarding discernment, right? Just a little while ago, I was saying like she can't discern between somebody who's a sleaze who approaches her with sleazy intentions and just like a lot of talk versus somebody who's genuinely interested. So she met Salah on international Tinder or whatever it is, and he said to her something along the lines of, I'm going to marry you one day. So she gets up and she goes to Kuwait. So he was being typical Tinder guy player, using Tinder guy player language. She's unable to discern, takes it to heart, moves to Syria, and here we are 3 years later and a whole bunch of drama later. So, yeah, the dad didn't approve. Here's this woman from Canada who just shows up in Kuwait and ta-da, here she is. And now they have to figure out what to do with her. Or his son has to figure out what to do with her. Yes, he was. That's my understanding of it. It's just like a temporary, it's like, you're kind of like, kind of with this person, but not really, just a fool around kind of thing. That was my understanding. But again, I don't know. I don't want to misspeak on any of that because I don't know. Yeah, describing, right, like all of these explicit things. So Broasted, I had actually made a video about that because I was wondering if like maybe he's telling the family. And she said this when she was raging the other day too. I wonder if he's been telling the family like they keep in contact because they're business partners, or she's invested in the business, or because of her YouTube, like some type of business thing, or because of Julia or something like that. But to her, he's saying that they're still married, that there's still like some type of romantic connection. So the family's thinking business, she's thinking romance, but who knows what the reality is. Right, Girl Scout? Yeah, if they saw that. Yeah, like it's okay for you guys to date kind of thing, I guess. She admitted that she was on a visitor's visa, Bella Italian, the other day, like a week ago. She said that she was like, I think she was under the influence, and she kind of like let us know. I think it's when we were watching her live last time. She said that she was like on a visitor's visa the entire time. Yeah, I heard about that, the 9K and everything, and investing in the perfume business. There's some shenanigans going on for sure with all of that stuff. Yes, he did. He certainly did, hey, Brianna. He said that. He's like, no, it's a real marriage. Don't you ever say that again. Yep, he sure did. I remember that very clearly. Sure did. Yeah, she divulged a couple of things that day. Which I think she's okay with, C was. She wants to be claimed. She doesn't want to claim, right? That's the whole thing, which is why like she's hanging on to the marriage. Wants to be claimed, doesn't want to claim anything. I don't think she has any type of like interest in whatever he's got going on regarding businesses or anything like that. Homes, I don't think she cares. Let me just see. She never came back to kick tonight, did she? Yeah, she didn't.
With McCormick, every bite is one you'll love. McCormick, make
Salah's friend, yeah. Her new pilot choice has her talking more than. Yes, it does. She is talking more than usual. She tried to be part of the business, but it didn't work. Yeah, there's something murky going on with that whole business there. And now the business doesn't exist, the whole perfume business, because the whole Kuwait arc went down, like turned into shambles, thanks to her. So time will tell what she's up to, where she's running off to at 8 or 8:30 or whatever it is she's doing. Is it for substances? Is it to make special content? If it is for substances, would she put her makeup on? Does she just put her makeup on because she likes it? Lots of questions there. But once again, it's yet another pattern of foodie, right? 8:30, she said she had to get going. Does she have like a standing appointment with like a special interest person? That could be it. Like somebody who wants to talk to her and like watch her do stuff at a specific time every day because that's the only time they have available. At the beaver tail? Maybe she goes out at 8:30 all the time to get a beaver tail. I don't know. Maybe there's like some hot rendezvous at the beaver stall. Like goes there, gets on the train, goes to the beaver tail place, buys it, films herself eating it in public just for that special someone, and then comes back. And then does another stream. That's not that far fetched. Oh, you think so? You think so, Wookie? Waiting for a call and close to whoever's house. Yeah. Although I do think because she's been coming back, right? After her whole 8:30 stint, like disappearing at 8:30. I think though if she was with the swordfish, like she wouldn't come back. It would be like an indefinite thing. Like she'd be gone for hours. So it's either the content that's being made a specific time, or it's like going somewhere on the train, probably to the beaver stall, and doing stuff over there and filming it, maybe. She needs her chat to go, yeah, everywhere, but not on, yeah. It's not her usual behavior exactly, which is why it stands out. Strange, strange, strange. The only reason why she would be up so early, it was either to return the car itself. I don't know. Did she have like a specific time she had to return it? Or she's off doing like she had an appointment somewhere at a specific time. We know she doesn't get up that early, regardless of what she says. This woman gets up like in the afternoon. The earliest she would ever get up is 11. It'll all eventually make sense and it will all eventually come out and we'll figure it out. Yeah, she invested in her husband. Yeah, she did. Forget that $9,000. She invested in her husband. The husband who she managed to get thrown out of Kuwait. I don't know. But thanks for being here this evening, everyone. Yeah, everything done in the dark, it always comes to light. Like, we predicted a lot of things prior to her saying them. The fact that he's not forthcoming with his family about their relationship, the whole thing about Canada and who's pushing for it more, a whole bunch of things. She said, not many men would put up with a woman like her. Yes, and I would agree. Unless you pay him. Yeah, right? Yeah, I was going to say earlier, like, her currency is currency. Her currency in life is currency, like paying people to like do stuff for her, behave a particular way, or for her to get something out of them. She was exhausted, wanted to get to bed. She looked bad on Monday. Beaver tails are not out in the country? I don't know. But beaver tails are accessible at 8:30 at night to be eaten in public. Oh yeah, immigration will ask about, you're right, Girl Scout. Yep, why they left Kuwait. Yeah, I'd like to see that explanation. No problem, blind justicist. Why Kuwait would keep letting her? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Don't know how that works. How many loophole marriages? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, she told us it was a loophole marriage that she did. Then we find out that she was on tourist visitor visa the entire time she was in Kuwait, which was 3 years just about. No, thank you guys. Thanks, Brosted. You have much to say about Foodie because you want to expose her lies and deceptions. She's a dangerous person to society. Yeah, there's a lot to say. There is a lot to say, and I think we expose certain things here. Like we pretty much notice the inconsistencies and kind of connect the dots, put the puzzle pieces together, and read between the lines. Yamberlin's washcloth, so do I. It is, but there's like a certain how do I put this? It wouldn't be a surprise. It could be expected exactly because of what you said, because she's online streaming for like half the day, practically a third of the day, that the odds would present that situation. It's very possible C was that they could. It depends on what charges are currently pending against them. I don't know what the status of those charges is, but it was pretty bad. There were serious charges against them, including, I think, for prostitution, if I'm not mistaken, and a whole bunch of other things and laws and things that they broke. Oh my gosh, the conversations about these two. They'd sound like us. They sound like we sound right now. Yeah. Being immoral, all the public things. Yep. It was. That was like the foundation C was, but then there was like a bunch of other stuff. Like I think there was like more of like the grifting that was going on. It was primarily about Bruce, absolutely. About like taking him, trying to grift money off of him. But then there were like additional things because I think they did look like what we're saying that immigration would do. I think like pause Kuwait and other branches of like Kuwait did look into all of that stuff, which is why they were warned to put Bruce back to prevent all of that from happening, but they weren't quick enough, and she continued doing what she was doing. Yep, Bella, all of the above. Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Amberlynn's washcloths. Yep. They viewed her content. They were even sent a lot of it too, because a lot of people volunteered information, and then more kept getting like tacked on to their offenses. Oh, definitely not C was. She didn't return anything. No, 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 no. Because it was via PayPal, friends and family, or whatever it's called. And the money, the amount that came in kept changing. The truth doesn't change, but the amount of the money did. Yeah, the oil field. Yep. Yeah, I think Bros did. I think there was some, yeah. That solicitation, right? I think that is what it was. It wasn't like in the sexual sense. But then again, who knows? Like who knows what other stuff, like maybe the content she was making, like some maybe that was, I don't know. I don't know what their definition would be. All right, folks. So thank you all for being here again, for the great conversation, for being here tonight, listening, watching that segment that I showed you about BG and what was said. And hopefully we can do this again very soon. Oh, thank you guys. Don't thank me. I appreciate you all for being here and for listening and contributing to the conversation and helping to figure out what's going on with Foodie and what she's up to. But thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful day or afternoon, or maybe even evening, depending on where you are. And maybe next time will be, what day is it today? Maybe tomorrow, possibly. Meaning Friday. I'll try. I'll see. We'll do another one. I'll try to catch up on her like latest antics. Have a good night. Have a good day, everyone. And thank you again so much for being here this evening. Catch you soon. Bye-bye.